Hello everybody and welcome. Sandra here with Outside the Box Soaps. Today I am doing a soap that is going to be fragranced with, what is it going to be fragranced with? A black raspberry, vanilla, and it comes from Nature's Garden. Black raspberry and vanilla, very nice fragrance. And what I have in terms of oils today, I have almond oil, sweet almond oil, aloe oil, apricot kernel, castor, coconut, olive, and some shea butter. And I'm also going to be adding some colloidal oatmeal to this batch. But before I get started, I did want to share with you, I have made a discovery in terms of micas. And I'm trying to put some of these together for you so that you can see them. I ordered a sample pack of micas from a site that I saw on eBay. And they are just the most beautiful micas that I've ever seen. This one here is peacock green. They're just gorgeous, and they all have sort of a sheen to them. They're all sparkle micas. There's one that is a brown green. There are lots of color combinations. So today I'm going to be using two of these. I'm going to be using one that is called dark purple, and the other one that I'm using is called red violet. So there's the red violet. So you'll see them as I fill them up in the cups, but I encourage you to order a sample. You get 10 little packages in a sample. They're generous samples, and I think that you'll like them. I really love them. So I'm going to put a link under the video directly to the page where you can order them if you like to give that a shot. They're really beautiful colors. Okay, so let's get on with making soap. And I just want to let you know, no one has asked me to do this. I volunteered to put a link to this site because I was so thrilled with the colors. I actually ordered 2 more sample kits and got different colors than the previous order. And I was very happy with those as well. Okay, so I'm going to strain my lye water because I did put silk in there. So we're going to be doing straining, and I'm going to be using 2 colors, as I said, because this is black raspberry. I'm going to be using a purple and a pinkish or red violet, and I'm going to make most of my base color is going to be white. Now I made a lot. This is a big recipe for me. And the reason I did that is because I think I want to be able to pipe it on top, and I would really like to add some black raspberries that I've created. So I'm going to add in my colloidal oatmeal now. Get this to emulsification. Hopefully today these soaping gods will be with me and things will go well and work in my favor. So I'm going to fast forward past this part, and what I'm going to do is just get you to... Okay, so the colors are all stirred up. Here is that beautiful pink. And this dark purple was a little bit dark, so I did put just a little bit of, I lightened it up a bit with some electric bubble gum, and also put a little bit of titanium dioxide in it. But I think it will be fine because of the fragrance. I think that it will work for a black raspberry color. And we'll see how it all comes out in the end. All right, so I'm going to set this aside. This is going to be my piping. This is going to be my piping batch. So let me put this aside here. And that will need to thicken up quite a bit. So then what I want to do next is to get my mold. And we need to be sure to add the fragrance. So I'm gonna add some here, gonna add some here, and then the balance will go into the piece that I set aside for piping. So let's get these stirred. And it doesn't look like we're going to have any bad effects from that, at least from what I can tell right now. Stir up the pink a bit. Got to remember not to fill these cups so much, because then I can't have a hard time getting stuff incorporated into them when they're so full. And I definitely can't use the stick blender in them when they're filled up like this. So, whoops. And we'll go into that black raspberry color and get that all fixed up with fragrance and color. All right, so I think we are good to go and ready to get pouring. If I can keep from losing all my batter to the mat here. All right, so I'm gonna go down first with white. And I'm gonna save a bit of that for later. And then I'm going to take my black raspberry color here. And gonna just add that in willy-nilly. Hoping to get a nice swirly sort of effect with that. Then I'm going to add the pink color. I'm going to do the same thing and just sort of let it swirl. And maybe put a little bit more of this in to break it up a bit. Trying to do some very thin strips here of pink, because I'm getting down to the bottom, and I do want to save a little bit in case I need it at the top. Okay, so there is a bit of white left in this bowl, and I'm going to just drizzle that in. don't know what kind of swirl you would call this. I'm just sort of doing, you know, what comes to my my hand and my eye as I'm going. So I don't know, but we'll see how it turns out. Hopefully it will be nice. And I did want to do something with this, and I just need to figure out what I did with my implement, so hang on. Okay, folks, so what I was going to do, I went to go get my whisk, and I was going to try and whisk through this, but I've been trying to wait for the frosting piece to set up, and I think this might be a little too far gone now in terms of getting hard, so I'm just gonna try to do a little bit of a Taiwan swirl with it, and then I'll bang it down to get rid of all the air bubbles, and hopefully that will make a nice pretty pattern. I was thinking of just leaving it as I poured it to see what comes out, but you know how it goes. Never could leave it alone. It's not a good thing. Okay. So then go this way with it. Sort of in the opposite direction. And then I will tamp it down. I am going to gel this because it's pretty slow moving, and I find that when they're loose like this and I don't gel them, they end up taking a really long time before they can get unmolded. So I'm going to bang this down. Excuse me a sec. All right. Okay. So still not ready at piping consistency here, so I'm going to give this a little more time. I'm going to blend it a little bit more and see if I can get it to firm up just a bit. I'm afraid right now it's not going to hold a shape once I start to pipe. So once more, I'll put you on hold and be right back. Okay, so it has taken a while really to get to piping consistency here. So I did get started off camera because I wanted to make sure that it was going to hold. And now I'm just trying to sort of fill in some additional little florets sort of where there are open spaces. And I do have more soap left. So I am going to be able to do probably another layer on here. So I think that will give it a nice finish on the top. And then I do have those black raspberries that I talked about earlier, which I made from Melt and Pour soap, and I would like to put those on the top. So I'm going to finish up my piping here, and then I will show you when I'm ready to place the raspberries, and you can see how that goes, and we'll see what the finished thing is going to look like. All right, be back. Okay, so now we're back, and now these are my little black raspberries that I've made. So I really need to figure out, I of course didn't measure, God no, me measure, where they're going to go in terms of the bar, but I'm going to try and eyeball it if I can. And what I did with these, they're just made out of Melt and Pour, and they are also dusted with a little bit of a sparkle mica, that deep purple sparkle mica that I used in the soap as well. So I'm just going to, again, sort of eyeball this and see what happens when we get to the cutting process. I haven't really done a piped top on a soap before. The only time I've ever done that is when I did a soap cake. And with the cake it worked out well. I didn't use the cutter, but I used a big knife. And I was a little worried about that because I don't cut very straight. But I was able to do it with no problems. And so I'm sure that I will figure out how to make this work as well. Right now I'm just wondering even how I'm going to get it out of the mold, because I can't flip it over, it'll flatten everything. And by the way, when it comes to gelling something like this, when I have something that's high in the mold like this, what I do is I just sort of line up bottles that I have that are high, and then I throw my towel over it so that the towel doesn't get stuck in my soap and mess it up. The other thing you can do, of course, is if you have a box that is about 6 inches high, or this is even, you know, this may even take more than that. If you have a box to cover it with that's high enough to cover, comes up above your mold, you can put the box on it upside down and then insulate it that way. And so that's another way to do that. And gee, I really made a lot of these little raspberries. So I think they are cute. So that is my black raspberry vanilla soap. And the one thing that I wanted to do, because I really do, these micas are just so pretty. I am going to do actually a mica drizzle on these, and because it does stay very shiny when you do a drizzle, and that iridescence is just so pretty in the finished bars. So first I'm going in with that that pink that I used in the bar. Just do a little drizzle. And I'm putting a little bit on my berries as well. I just hope this piping doesn't flatten out. I mean, I've really waited a long time and it still looks to me like it's not all that firm. But we'll just cross our fingers and hope for the best. Alright, so there is the pink. Now I'm going to do this blue lavender, which is a pretty addition when you've got black raspberries, because they are kind of black and blue and purple all at once. And this has been a long project. I don't want to complain. I will take this over freezing up any day. But it just has been one of the longest soap making adventures or projects that I've done since I've been doing this. So, okay, so that is it. I'm going to leave it alone. The one final step I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of iridescent glitter to it, just to further dress it up a bit, and hoping that the light catches that glitter. It will also catch all of those pretty colors of the micas that are in there. So just gonna sprinkle this, not too much, but just enough to sort of give it an interest and give it a little bit of a shimmer. We all like that little shimmer. Okay, so folks, that is it. I am going to put this soap to bed and zoom in a bit so you can see how it looks now, and when it is hardened and firmed up and I cut it, I will definitely post pictures of what it looks like and how the finished product turned out. Thanks again for viewing. Thanks for your time. Hope this was helpful. Don't forget, subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Take care.